Over the past few weeks, I have had the pleasure of working with two 8th grade students at Waverly Middle School. Both Cleo and Africa gave me wonderful insight on what it means to be literacy learners and how literacy impacts students every day. Although my time was limited to work with these two students, they gave me valuable information that has not only helped me with my learning in TE 302, but also has led me to think about myself as a future educator. After speaking with my mentor teacher about why he picked these two students for me, it became clear that both these girls were proficient enough in literacy that it would make them good candidates for this project. He explained his options were limited in assigning these students due to the high number of special education students and also students who had already participated in a program similar to what I was doing. Africa was absent from school on one of the assigned interview days, so I ended up getting much more information about Cleo. Even with her absence, I was able to gather information from both girls that really helped me understand each of them as independent literacy learners. Cleo and Africa brought knowledge of literacy and a level of ability that was evident in the literacy experiences they demonstrated in class. By this I mean both of these girls enjoyed reading outside of class and excelled in classroom readings as well. Each girl stated that she liked to read outside of school, particularly Stephen King novels in their spare time, which I found to speak both about their level of proficiency with reading and also their interest outside of science school readings. When talking with these students, it was clear to me both saw the value in reading and on some level enjoyed it. I think this enjoyment is in some way affected by each student's home life. I will speak directly about Cleo here, as Africa was unable to answer this section of questions. Cleo explained to me that she enjoyed reading at home in her room. This allowed me to infer she has a safe place at home where she can relax and is able to complete her schoolwork and also pursue non-academic reading. When asked what kind of books she liked to read, she stated, school books, science books, and normal books. After talking with my mentor teacher about Cleo's work, I was able to understand that she turns most assignments in on time and completed. Her home life has the ability to provide her with outside reading or the normal books she refers to, such as Stephen King novels, which demonstrates an emphasis on reading in her household. Cleo went on to say her mother is an important person in her life, and when asked to elaborate, she stated, "My mom has taught me many things." Having this relationship with a parent can often help students achieve in school because they have a solid support system. Cleo then went on to explain how her mother uses reading and writing in her daily life. She stated, at her job, she fills out paperwork used in court cases, eviction cases. She processes the paperwork and puts it into the computer. She then gives the papers to officers who do the evictions. I found her mother's job an interesting topic and also intriguing how Cleo related it to reading and writing. As I was there for Genius Hour, I saw an emphasis on student motivation, a topic we have discussed in TE 302. Each student was allowed to pick his or her own topic, and I saw how this affected most students' motivation to invest in this project. My focal students did not need much help with Genius Hours, so I often helped other students and answered any questions they had. I found the range of topics really inspiring and found each student's interest to really be represented by their choice of topic. When I was working with my focal students, I helped them catch up on any work they were missing and also was available if they had questions for their independent projects. I attempted to utilize the word wall strategy in the way of the word book one of my English group members created. However, due to limited time with my students, we just scratched the surface of this tool. I attempted to show them the usefulness of the word book when struggling with vocabulary, especially in their research. Had I had more time with my students, I would have loved to examine how using the word book could have affected their research and made a positive impact on their understanding of the subject they picked. If I were able to do it differently next time, I would ask for more time with my students so that each party could benefit more from using the literacy strategy. The biggest thing I think my literacy learners learned from me was the importance of knowing how reading and writing relates to their lives, both in school and outside of school. I think through my questions, they came to think more about how they use reading in particular in their daily lives and not just in the academic sense. As I talked with Cleo about what she liked to do outside of school, things such as go to the movies, go bowling, and go to the mall, I think she was able to make a connection of how these activities involve reading and why reading is important. I think and hope I allowed them to see reading as an important factor in almost everything they do, not just in the academic things they do. What I learned from my literacy students is the importance to explain myself to my students to make a connection with them. Explaining why I was asking them the questions I was helped them to understand they were helping me, not just being put on the spot or judged. I think as a future educator, making this connection with your students is so important because it allows them to form a relationship with you that goes beyond the teacher-student dynamic. I believe that in explaining myself to my focal students, they got to know me better, and this made them trust and open up to me more, even though we had a very short time together. If I had more time with my students, I would want to continue to show them strategies that would help with their research for their Genius Hour projects. I had a wonderful time talking with my students. However, I do wish I could have helped them more with strategies to help complete their work. I would have also liked to discuss with them how they plan to represent their topics when it comes time to present to the class. Although they still have a good amount of time before presentations begin, I think helping them decide the best format to display their information would have been beneficial to all of us. I believe my MT does a good job in adapting to the levels of ability he has in his classroom. He grades based on a numerical system ranging from 1 to 5, which gives the highest achieving children something to strive for and the lowest achieving a scale that accommodates both their ability and effort. The only thing I could suggest my MT change is perhaps scaffold the lessons differently based on level. Giving each level of student a different task keeps the ones who excel in the classroom challenged while allowing struggling students to get the help they need. My experience at Waverly taught me a lot and makes me excited about my future in teaching.